Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the WASD and Beyond HOTFIX.
Thanks.
Myself and Evan this week, and uh, we are gonna be. I was gonna make this a main episode series, but there's a lot of shit that Evan and I've been doing. A lot of interviews that I am setting up with other creators right now, and that I've just done. We're all over the place. We're trying to get as much shit done as possible, but very hard. So we're
Yeah.
gonna start turning this into a hotfix series, which is Halo the series.
Yep.
Unless an episode is really that gripping to me, in my opinion, that we
Right.
need to do a main episode. So you can kind of
Yeah.
expect the next couple of hot fixes, unless it's huge news, to
Unless it's
be
big. Yeah.
to be hot fixes. And until I get my fucking Steam Deck, nothing's gonna be that big to me. So let's just put it out that way. And I did play Ghostwire Tokyo.
You did play Gundam,
I
which you
did play
talked about.
Gundam, which we are going to be doing an entire episode with two of the Build Bros, Nick and Copley, I believe.
Okay.
We're doing an episode about that soon.
I can be on for that too if you want, because I can give perspective on
Yeah,
FPSs in general.
yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, I've been playing it. I've actually been, not gonna lie, enjoying it.
I kind of dig it a lot.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's
If
not that
I've
bad.
seen a lot of people saying it's shit, and I'm like, I don't think we're playing the same game. But we'll get into it though. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start with Halo episode 2, obviously, because that makes sense. I'm gonna go right out the gate and say
You remember
this.
it? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Did you
I
fall
mean,
asleep?
it was just a huge exposition dump of more of the UNSC politics that I just don't care about. Um, I think that it can be important to know these politics and the problems that are happening with the UNC, the separatists, and the Covenant, obviously. But I just don't give too much of a flying fuck about how boring these politics are to me. It's a lot of wah wah wah. My mom hates me, therefore I am being shunned to do bullshit work. And you can't build Cortana, that's illegal. Oh, we're gonna sidestep this now, and now you can build Cortana. And that is so convoluted and stupid. And it was just a huge exposition dump, which is fine, right? Usually that's okay
Yeah.
further down the series. But when you're in episode 2 and episode 1 was fine. That was fine, right?
I liked it.
It was fine. The battle that they did show was fine in episode 1. The CGI is to be desired at times, but at other times, when you look at the
It's
Covenant
okay.
and you look at like Mercy, like they look really fucking good,
But you see more of them in episode 3 as well. You see
and it
more a
looks
close up of the elite. Yeah.
really fucking good. So why did you
They
make
did a
that
good job.
stupid gun CGI? Doesn't make sense to me. I'll never understand that. But it's episode
That
2.
was weird.
Again, huge exposition dump. No action other than
Nothing.
the fucking asteroid flying scene, which was cool. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You get to meet Soren. I like him a lot. He's actually, to say it right now, the only fucking character I give a shit about and that I like.
Other than
Um,
Chief.
no, even at some points in the series, I've not liked Chief. I'm set.
Wow.
Dude, I'm not
What
trying
a
to.
traitor, this guy.
I know. But like I've sat there going, I don't fucking like anyone right now but Soren. I don't care about Miranda. I don't care about Halsey. Halsey is fine to a degree. I understand why she's being portrayed the way she's being portrayed. And before anyone calls us out, I understand this is part of Silver Timeline. I do. But there's a couple
He
things
does.
here that I take issue with. One being that the showrunners have admitted that they didn't read any of the books and didn't play any of the games. Hence why
That's a bit odd to say. Even if you didn't, why would you tell me that? You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
want to know. I don't want to know that you're just doing what you want to do. There are things about this I like, but episode 2 was a slog. It was fucking boring. And it leaves us off. Did they show Okay, I'm saying right out the gate.
Spoiler. Just if it is a spoiler, I'm saying it now.
Did they think that just showing ass and side boob was just like they're like, you know what? We know this episode sucks. So here's some ass and side boob. That's gonna draw them right in. So we're in episode 3, it's like, well, we lost the female demographic. So why don't we show
Maybe
some
that was the
Master
plan.
Chiefs?
I don't know.
They
Yeah. Oh, they did show Master Cheeks. They
Okay,
showed a
that
lot of Master Cheeks. They
for
showed like, oh
quite
my
some
god,
time, which I
they
have
were
to.
they were teasing that whole thing too because they were cutting to different angles and it was just always that full
The
frontal
mirror
was just
was like right
yeah
above his cock, and I was like,
the
just show it.
bar when they flipped to the above angle, the bar was just covering that little section, and I was like, all right, come on, bro, like, like I don't care, like if you're gonna show it, then show it, but like Jesus, why are we toying around with this here?
So again,
Um,
the planet that you go on is it's neat. The little train car thing, I was like, this looks cool, but this is so unbelievably dangerous right now. I was like, why is this happening?
I have no idea, man.
So yeah, let's go into episode 2 a little bit. Then episode 3 is gonna be the main
I
topic.
I really liked it. I really liked
Really,
both
episode
two. I
2?
I like two because I like again more of a Chief just being like, "Hey man, I need you to watch this girl," and
Yeah.
he's like, "Come on, man," and he's like, "Come on,
Let
bro,
me
like I
stop you
need you to,
right there really quick. That
I
was
need you
my
to watch her."
favorite part because we don't have to see Quan after that for a little while.
That's not true because you
I
saw her all over episode
I
3.
understand that, but when it was in my brain that
You
you
were like, "She's
dump
gone."
this character off because we do not need Quan. She is this is dollar store fucking goddamn Mandalorian. I don't want Chief to have Grogu. I don't need Quan. Let it just kill that off. Stop with Quan. Go on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I thought it was just a bit slow on some things, but others I totally get. I don't understand like some of the stuff was very weird, like you said, bringing up about how like well there's a illegal ethical conundrum when it comes to building Cortana, but then when episode 3 happens, it's like they just completely forgot about it. Like they just went ahead and did what they were going to do anyway. So it's like why'd you even say it? Like there's appears to be no repercussions.
No,
Like
she's killed so
even
violently too.
like
We'll do later.
yeah, that's in episode 3, but like that was just weird to me where it's like they had a board meeting in episode 2 with all the UNSC members like, "Yeah, you working on this?" And she's like, "I might be." And Parangoski's like, "Are you?" She's like, "I don't know. Why don't you take a trip down to the lab? Why don't you look? Why don't you talk to me about it?" Like it was just weird because it's like they're looking at her like some of
God.
the people like Lord Hood is like we don't have options.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the time to debate this idea of is it okay to flash clone another human, and to be perfectly honest, at that point I feel like that kind of comes up in conversation in a weird way where it's like well it's Halsey doing the cloning of herself.
Yeah.
She's not cloning John, she's not cloning Miranda Keys, right? She is okay with what she's doing, and like you said, yeah, I mean the clone is like there for maybe like a couple of minutes.
It
um
was a rough. That was rough. I was like, okay.
I just was I don't like whatever her teacher's assistant that she's got working in the lab with her. I don't
He
know
was
his name.
creepy.
He
He's
tried to kiss the clone,
he
bro.
is
That's
creepy as
weird.
fuck, bro. First off, that's like cue ball Halsey, and I'm like, you're just weird to look at. That's episode 3.
Aw,
Let's keep
don't
episode.
be don't be
I'm
mean to
sorry. I'm
Cuba
sorry.
Halsey.
I'm sorry. Episode
No,
3 gets kind of creepy and rapey too.
episode episode 2 was just very much something where it was like I get what we're doing here, I get it, but then yeah there were times like yeah some of the stuff where it's like they bring it up in episode 2 and then it's done with by 3, like it's just kind of like really
Dude.
like did we need to discuss that? I don't understand for the life of me what is going on with the UNSC at this point in time. Again, we don't know the timeline. We don't know where things are taking place at.
Correct.
Like, it's like they know the UNSC knows the Covenant exists, but like other places don't.
Or they're in complete
Like,
denial.
or they're in denial of it, and they're like, "Nah, man, there's no way." Um, I did think it was kind of funny just listening to Soren talk to Chief and tell him like I was getting kind of annoyed with that whole relationship because it's like every time Chief says something, he just kind of does this classic 80s guy smirk where he's like, "Ha, that's what they told you, huh, Chief? You still believe that, huh?" And
Oh
Chief's
my
like, "Well,
god.
what do you mean?" And he's like, "Ha, I'll tell you about it later." It's like he doesn't have time to sit down for a beer and talk about it, bro. Like this is the human weapon to stop the Covenant. And again, still nobody believes him.
No.
And then we have this whole weird scene where it's like he walks past people in cages that are all like freaking out to talk to some random guy at the end of the hallway who seems to know what this artifact
Oh, that
is
was so dumb.
because he was aboard a Covenant ship or whatever. And it was just like, where are we going with this? What is this supposed to teach us, right? Because at the end of the day, he learns what it is and then he just goes back home and then they take it over anyway. Like they
Yeah.
take the artifact and they just put him in a cell or
He
whatever.
gets
And
like court-martialed pretty much at that point.
yeah, but then they don't even punish him. He doesn't get
No,
punished.
it's
Like,
done.
and it's like, what are you going to punish him for? And that's what somebody said in that meeting in episode 2, where they're like, well, if he thinks it's okay, what's going to make the others think it's not okay? It's like, do you realize who these people are? Like, they're not sitting there like, man, I really just want to go on shore leave right now while the Covenant is trying to take over and destroy the galaxy or the universe or whatever,
Right.
right? Like, these are Spartans. Their job is the mission, and they know that, right? He did it because he touched this object, which nobody else has touched. So like there's this weird thing of like you're watching it as someone who knows the series and knows the people, and they're like talking about like, well, what if the other Spartans are going to want to leave? It's like they physically don't want to leave. Like
No.
the only reason she, like, I'm talking in circles now, but yeah, the only reason that she feels that way or does anything is two reasons. Because they're going to kill Quan, which he doesn't agree with, and then he touched the artifact, which is why he also doesn't really agree with it, right? I mean, I think if he didn't touch the artifact or whatever, and some other Spartan did, and then he had to kill Quan, he would have just done it.
Yeah, I would have
I
just
don't think
done
he
it.
would have even thought about it. Like, and you see more of that again in episode 3, and I have a little theory for that as well. Um, but like, yeah, episode 2 was, I can agree with you, it was a bit of a slog. I liked it because I do like exposition. I didn't really care about the lack of action, mostly because at the end of the day, again, a TV show is different than a game, and a game is meant to keep you interested by, you're going
Yes.
through every place filled with enemies, that kind of thing, right? If you were playing, Halo 4 and it was more, or Halo 3 or whatever, and it was more built like this, right? People probably wouldn't have liked it maybe as much because it would have been like, well, Chief is here to just kill the bad guys, basically, in the
Well,
games,
and
right?
I
He obviously has more important things. He's not just a killing machine. He is, but like he's always on the front line. Whereas right now, I mean, it really looks like, again, because we don't know where this is at in terms of a timeline in the world or in the universe of this, is they are, but they're not. It almost seems like they're not at active war, right?
it
Like,
seems like
like
it's
they're
preparations right now.
right. Like, yeah, like it's kind of gearing up to that point. And it's going to maybe reach ahead, which is maybe what I would like to talk about more when we talk to 3, or go to 3. But like, I mean, yeah, two is okay for a second episode, but I didn't really. I just kind of watched it, got the exposition, and was like, "Cool, we're done." I don't know why they
Yes.
made her go nude at the end. I thought that was weird. Like, I don't think we needed that. You could have just done it from the top up, right? Just her face or
Yeah.
something. You didn't have to show anything. I get. I mean, I mean, again, it's a Paramount show, but then again, it still feels weird where it's like they're cool with showing a chick get half her body blown apart, and then they're like able to show man butt and girl butt and side boob and
I was say it was a
everything
decent
for
amount of nudity for her.
yeah, it was. And then for Chief, I mean, pretty much everything except the thing. And it's like
Should
that's
have
just
showed
weird
us
to me.
Grundle. I would have been cool with that. I would have laughed at
Oh
least.
no, I would have been
Chief
a
Grundle.
laugh. Oh no, man, come on. We
That'd be
got enough
sweet.
with Master Cheeks. I like that, by the way. That's
Master
I'm gonna
Cheeks.
make.
That's
Let's
that.
make that trending.
Yes, Master Cheeks. That's but
Yeah,
I understand the action element, right? I
yeah.
understand what you're saying. But let's also think about what the title of the show is. Halo, right? So
No, not at all.
let's put in a little bit more action into this fucking show because if there's not okay, let me put if there's not by episode 4,
You're done.
not I have to watch it.
He's got to do it for a job, folks.
I wish I was
I
getting
have
paid for
to.
this, but I
I
have
have
to
to
watch
watch
it
it.
so we could talk about it, right? But if there's not by episode 4, it's like then what is this? It's just space politics at that point. I'm like this is just dumb and I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
But I
I'm
understand what
cool with
you're
exposition.
saying as well.
I'm cool with exposition.
I am too, but like it just seems like maybe they just kind of seems like maybe they blew their budget.
Uh,
That's just kind of what
no.
it sounds like here. I think they blew their fucking budget. And a lot of cool ideas like the fucking stupid asteroid city because that was a
Hold on.
built set.
Oh, they built that?
Yeah, there was like a built set, man. Then the CGI.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew that they built it in the interior and like the rooms and stuff like that, but I thought, yeah, no, no. I mean, I'm cool with it. I
I
liked
think
the
they blew their
asteroid city.
budget. I think episode 2 is getting a
I'm
hard
looking at
pass
it.
from me.
Are you kidding me? No, they're fine. They had $200 million to
Okay.
make this show
Then maybe not. Maybe
for
not
8
then.
episodes.
Okay,
Two,
so there's 8 episodes. Okay.
I think there's 8
There's a
episodes,
lot
but
of
yeah,
time to improve the show then. I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying what I've gotten so far is
yeah.
not that crazy and impressive. But
It
it's
costs
not
more
the
than
$200
million to make.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
the whole series, which I
okay.
think I'll look up right now. How many episodes? Halo series episodes is we're getting. It's only showing me what. You keep going. It
Okay.
looks like there's going to be 8, but
Okay.
I
8.
would assume there'd be 8 to 10. That's what
And I
my
think
guess
it
would
was
be.
already greenlit for season 2.
Good. I want
So,
more.
yes, if they can
He doesn't want more. He hates the show. Don't
No,
let anybody. Don't let him fool you
I
on this.
want this to succeed. Because where I hated episode 2 and I didn't think this was placed properly, and my favorite part was Quan getting dropped off.
9. Sorry,
9
9
episodes.
episodes.
Okay, so there's plenty of room for improvement. So again, episode 2 leaves us off with a nudity scene for no reason, and you're done with Quan for a little while, which was
I
cool.
mean, yeah, I guess. Like, I mean, she's still in episode 3 to a degree.
But do you need Quan?
She's
No.
clearly meant to be there for some reason, and I
She's
can
gonna
tell
be a
why
chosen
because
one.
if they try to shoehorn her in for that, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed just because
Yes.
it's like, how many chosen ones can we have here? We've got Chief.
Got 2.
Yeah, we've already got we got 2. We got Chief and then Mackie or Mackay or something like that. I saw her
Mackie,
name.
yeah.
I was just watching it, and I know it started with an M and ended with like Kee.
She there's a pretty funny scene. All right, episode 2.
We're done with 2.
Watch it, but it's not that great in my opinion.
You're not going to get a lot of action. If you're coming there to watch like Chief rip the head off an elite, you're not getting that. You're going to get a lot more explanation for certain things that are going on. You're going to see that clearly Chief is very important more than just being Chief. It looks like almost like he was important from the beginning before he was a Spartan. He had something special about him.
Yeah.
And that's also, I mean, kind of the reason too is why he's a Spartan is because they saw that like he has something special about him, but this is a bit more of a different thing.
Right.
I liked it, but it's exposition.
Yeah.
So if you don't like exposition and you're just there to watch people get, shot and blown up and a cool action faction, go somewhere else. This isn't for you.
So
episode 3, I really liked. I just finished it.
It's
fresh in my head.
It was uphill for me. At first I was like, okay. There was a couple things in episode 3 I was like, I audibly started cackling over.
We'll talk about it.
So, but it fixed a lot of the problems I had with episode 2. There's still a good amount of exposition.
There's really no action. There's one action scene.
There's one action scene, and that was fine. And we'll get into that.
Pretty fast. It's not even that scary.
You get introduced to Cortana in this episode more so. The Flash cloning.
Yeah, you watch the clone of Halsey get stabbed.
Yeah, it was a violent death for no reason.
It wasn't even that violent, bro. They put a scalpel in her eye and she passed out. What do you
Why
mean?
the eye?
Because that's where it is. That's where else were they gonna stab her?
I know. That was fine.
No,
I was cracking up at her cue ball head.
It was really weird with that whole thing. I mean, it was just weird because it's like, so that's what it is that's how Cortana is made, is that she clones herself and then they take the clone's neural interface or whatever, drain it through her eye or whatever. They don't even drain it. It's like, it's literally just a little poke, like a needle.
Yeah, but didn't they melt her too?
Well, they melt her after because her body's not needed anymore.
So mean.
You don't see it. I mean, she just gets dropped into a bath of acid and then she's gone. Which is like, that's what you do when you get rid of a body. What are they going to do? Throw it out back?
Holy shit. Just toss her into space.
Why would they do that? What if somebody finds her? What if
it's just some
Covenant
weird cue ball chick floating around? It's funny at that point.
This is Halo. They're going to be like, this is clearly not human in origin.
Just
like,
let's keep the ball rolling.
Nice. Make fun of her head even more. Why don't you with the ball rolling comment? What an ass.
Keep going. It's fresh in your mind. I'll interject here.
The teacher's assistant's a weird guy, and I don't like him. I feel like he's going to be the evil enemy, the unknown villain by the end of the season, because he's going to be like, Halsey didn't kiss me, and he's going to be like, going crazy about it. It's like, that was weird. It was just a weird thing where it's like,
there was 2 weird scenes.
Okay, what was the other weird scene for you?
The kid's reading the book to her. He's like, if you say the word kiss, that means you gotta kiss. And we're about to
Oh,
like
at the
watch like
beginning?
yeah, watch two 12-year-olds like kiss for no like that was manipulation, little guy. He's already knows how to fucking
Well,
manipulate women.
he got his comeuppance then because he died.
Dude, they
Um,
over trash. I was like, I don't care about this like weird little trash planet.
oh yeah, that was just again, that's the origin story, quote unquote, of the girl that's abducted by the Covenant because she's apparently special too.
Yeah, they got the little
Uh,
illuminator thing.
yeah, they were searching for some special thing. I don't know. The Covenant are stupid. And they're
Behind the
yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
it's like,
they're
it
saying it's
is the
behind
thing.
her. Yeah,
It's like,
this is her. Like this creature is the thing. I was like, all right, come on, bro. She's not a creature. She's a human. But like, come on, let's be cool.
be cool, be
Um,
cool.
yeah, they take her, and then now she is just fully indoctrinated into the Covenant. She's got a little cool energy
Okay,
finger.
that's what I laughed at. When she was like, ding, and then just like pokes dude in the fucking like hand, eye, whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
is that an energy? Like, did her fingernail just turn into an energy sword? Because that is the stupidest fucking shit
Why is
ever.
it stupid?
Because it's gonna turn
X
into the same.
20 X23
I
has
understand.
hand and
That's
feet blade.
X-23. If
Yeah, but
her
this is a,
fingers
this
turn
is a
into fucking okay, if every digit on her hand goes, and that's how she fights Chief, I won't not laugh.
you're pretty rude. You're
You know
being
it's gonna be funny if that's what happens.
well. No, I mean I'm just gonna be like, okay. I mean, again,
Yeah, see, you're gonna be like,
I want him
okay.
to say I want him to say to her the same thing he says to Quan, where he's gonna be like, "This is Mjolnir 6 armor. You're gonna have to find something more to hurt me."
Those were
No, I
hunter
mean
worms
that.
too, right? That's what
I
it looks
think
like to
that's
me.
what they
'Cause
were.
that boot, because
Yeah,
Eric and I were talking. He's like, this
yeah.
worms. I'm like, well, I think it's a hunter worm. Like hunter
They call
worms.
them crab things. The Marines call them like it's the crab things. I'm like, you've never seen a crab before in my life,
Yeah, it's a
or before in
worm,
your life.
bro. Yeah.
That's not a crab.
So are we gearing up to see maybe like a hunter? And they bring up
I thought it was
grunts.
going to be a hunter, like a full grown one
Yeah,
that just like closed behind her, like hidden the ship and then
that would have been
formed
sweet.
behind her. That would have been cool, but I also thought that what that was pretty cool too, because it's supposed
Yes.
I think hunters are smaller. Like the what
Well,
makes them up, they're very small.
it was a hunter, like
Oh, was it
on the
before? Oh
ship.
yeah,
Well, like look at
I
its.
just looked away.
You see its boot.
Yeah, so then it was a hunter, and it
Yeah,
just
yeah. It just like
because of
became the worms.
well, which is what they can do, but it was weird that they were like, well, there's no organic signatures on here, and it's like, how do you not see?
I don't
You
know.
got to get better scanning tech, bro, because I mean, like, this is outdated. Because like, I mean, that's organic. Like they're living, unless there's something in the lore where they can just lie dormant when they're closed, like and wake up
Possibly,
at will, or she
but
can
this
wake them
isn't
up.
going off the lore,
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. I
right?
mean, some of this stuff is legit, or some of this stuff is taken from it. Other stuff is different, like in the sense of I'd say the timeline is not the same, obviously,
Yeah,
but
no, it's
like the
not.
lore of how things work is still, yeah, there to a
It's
degree.
basic. Yeah, I get it.
Um, I like that Chief had a bit more of a voice. Like,
Yes, I liked
I
that.
also like that he was kind of like Cortana just showed up to introduce herself to the other Spartans, and he's like off, and she's looked at him like, "Come on,
I
what do you
liked
what
that
do you think
comic
this is?"
relief esque feel to it. I thought that was cool.
I like
Um,
Cortana.
I
I just like
enjoy.
her. I like that her voice actor is here still. I like that. He doesn't
Yes.
like her because she's not purple, so you can
No,
already
it's not
stop
that.
listening. He doesn't like her. He
No,
doesn't.
no. So I enjoy the fact
He
that
doesn't.
Cortana's voice actress is voicing her. Um,
Yep, figure it
the
out.
CGI for her is hit or miss at times. There's some really awkward movements and facial animations that she's doing here
She's
and
an
there.
AI.
I understand that, but like from my perspective as the viewer, I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, like
She's not
it
supposed to
just
be like completely human. Like,
no, I don't want her to be, but there's certain I where I think that it was a CGI issue. There's problems with how she looks at times, and
oh, why
then
don't you show me some of your CGI work?
I can critique. You're a piece of shit. Um, I
I'm just
it was
saying,
also
bro.
weird that she was just giant Cortana at all times. I would have liked to see maybe we will eventually where Chief can just kind of like pull him out and then she can walk down the arm type thing.
Well,
I'm
let's
interested to see that.
also. Well, she's also in the games. I think she is a chip in Chief's helmet, not in Chief himself.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
He is always able to communicate with her now. So that's different. Is that yeah? She is embedded in him.
Yeah,
They are literally the same
I'm
in
cool
to a
with that
degree.
too, though.
And she is apparently the way they're talking about it is that she eventually could be able to physically take over Chief as well.
Yeah, Halsey didn't give her the go ahead
She
so he
doesn't give her
can
the she
grab the
locks her
key.
out. Yeah. Yeah, which is hilarious because like I love that aspect of it of Halsey thinking that she knows what this is and she's just got no fucking clue.
No,
Like
no, no.
she's like, "Don't let him touch it. Touch it, John." And then he touches it and then everything happens and she's like, "That's crazy. Put him in stasis." And then it dies and she's like, "Oh shit, look at that." It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe like and then I like that Chief kind of has his own words with her
Mhm.
where he's like, "Stop bullshitting me. Tell me
Yeah.
what's what." You know, he says that to Cortana too when he like is trying to get into the door, and she's like, "Chief, I don't know," and he's like, "Open it." But I don't like that either. That Halsey's continuously telling her, just like he would rather he'd be better suited if he saw you as an accomplice rather than a spy. It's like that makes her a spy. That's
I'm
what
not
you just
liking
did.
that right there. I'm really not like Halsey in the games,
I
if
don't
I'm not
think Cortana's cool
mistaken.
with it.
No, I don't think
Corta-
Cortana's cool with it either.
Cortana's made that clear actually, where she was told to do something. I can't remember what it was, but she was told to do something from Halsey because she was like, you take orders from me," and she was like, "That's not what I signed up for." Like she's got her smart ass snarkiness already there, which is funny because she's a clone
Yeah.
of Halsey, but she's also like, "Man, you can be a real bitch at times."
I liked
Like,
the palette removal in the episode.
what do
His
you mean?
emotional
Oh,
palette
like,
removal.
oh,
The
the
the the,
the
the little
suppressor.
yes, yes. I thought that was neat. I liked that. I liked that entire scene of Chief walking into the city, being a dog,
Seeing the music,
actually listening to
listening to the
music, and like
music.
I liked that. And I saw a
I
lot of
liked
people
it.
bitching about that, and I'm like, really? Like this is really cool. It sets up a lot of cool shit for future episodes of because he's already having moral dilemmas and emotional dilemmas in his head. This
He
is
has one in the
now
first episode.
right.
Like,
So this now is going to make it that much better, right? So what are we bitching about now?
and that's what we need to see is that Chief in the games is very much about the mission, but he has feelings and he has emotions. He just knows how to
Exactly.
suppress them properly. Whereas with this is like he's been artificially suppressed and he knows it and he doesn't like it, which is why he's like, "Help me take this out." And then
Really
he
good
he
practical
goes
effects, by the way, right there.
he goes and listens to the it was good. He goes and listens to the music, sees the dog, he like looks at the people talking and the couple on the train and all that kind of stuff and he recognizes the dog and he goes, "These are my memories that I'm seeing. This
Hmm.
is me. I'm seeing myself." And he recognizes that. And that's what I find so funny too is that this is humanity's greatest weapon, arguably the smartest of them all, as well as obviously in terms of everything else, best at everything, especially being a weapon.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I know I drew this when I was a child. I saw it when I picked up the artifact. Let me go find it." And Halsey's like, "No, we'll send probes." He's like, "I'm going."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let me go with you." And it's like she only the way it seems really is that she's just looking for it because it's interesting to her as a scientist and how she can manipulate
It
it to
betters
be
Halsey.
it betters her and then she's almost evil in that sense where I think that she's so conflicted because she wants John to succeed in certain ways but then at the same time she is so afraid of letting John be John.
Yeah.
Like
It's her
she
Frankenstein monster.
yeah, she even says that too, where he says like, when I took out my emotional." That was what I thought was funny. I thought he was gonna call her out on it, like he knew, because he figured it out and like cut it with the help of Cortana. And then he says, "When I ripped out my emotional suppressor or like whatever," and she goes, "You ripped it out." I almost half expect him to be like, "Really? Do you think
Yeah,
I
and
didn't know that you knew?" Like,
I'm
you know what I
sure he
mean?
knows that she knows though.
I'm sure he thinks that because it's like this is Halsey, right? Like and that's just I liked it. I loved the episode and I love the way that like that's set up. I do like the Cortana and Chief dynamic already. Like
I
she's
do too.
already a pain in the ass
Yeah.
to him and he's already like, "Dude, I'm so tired of you."
Young Cortana.
Like
She's a baby, basically, man.
she's literally just been made.
So that's why she's adolescent. I like that. I think she's gonna start really telling Halsey to fuck herself. That's what I want. I would love to see that aspect of just Cortana be like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to betray John. A lot of people are bitching that he's not in a suit. Dude, he doesn't have to be in a suit. He doesn't have to have the helmet on. I made a
let's
gripe with
let's
it, kind of, but like,
well
no, this
let's
is
look at it
fine.
this way. If you were to walk around let's take the episode 3 where he's not in his suit at all, like until the end, but he doesn't even put the helmet on. Um take that and just now put him in the green suit. You're gonna
Yeah.
be pretty like you're gonna most
It's gonna
viewers
look
that don't
goofy.
know the
That
game,
would be
yeah,
goofy.
yeah, most viewers that don't play the games or even people that play the games like me, I'd be like, why is this dipshit wearing a helmet?
Yeah,
What
you're
is
fine
he
on your planet.
what is he hiding from? Like, what is he like? Could you imagine him on the operating table while they implant Cortana with the helmet and then a regular gown? Like, I was gonna be like, man, you can get rid of that. Like,
I
it's
like my
safe here.
helmet.
Yeah, I like it. Makes me feel good.
Makes me I'm
There,
safe in here.
yeah. The one thing I'm curious to see more of is that one of the other Spartans. I cannot remember her name for the life of me. I
She's
feel
getting
bad.
really nosy.
She was nosy when she saw him taking out the emotional suppressor,
Yeah.
and she also had the biggest look on her face when Cortana showed up
Yeah.
because I think that's where he said that too, where he's like, "Are there any questions you want to ask me?" And they're like, "We've been briefed." And then Cortana shows up, and they're like,
What the
"What?
fuck? Yeah.
What is this? Like, when were you going to tell us about this, John?" And he's like, "Halsey's thing." Like that's how he plays it off. It's just like Halsey made it. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on here. Like she won't leave me alone.
I wish people would understand this is a young chief too. This is young chief
It's
still. Kinda,
arguably
sorta.
both of them. Yeah, both of them are very young, and I do think that that's going to be something more that Cortana says to compare or to agree with what you said earlier, where she's gonna say to Halsey like, "Hey, man," that's what I think she's gonna end up saying is like, especially when they're on this planet in the next episode, and she's gonna want to look at it, and Cortana's like, "No, man, don't touch it," and she let Chief touch it, and she's gonna be like, "Well, he doesn't know what he's doing," and she's gonna be like, "Respectfully, you
Neither
cannot
do
touch
you.
it."
Yeah.
Yeah, neither do you. Also, that's what I think she's gonna end up saying, and that might be the whole point of this, or hopefully that'll be a nice climax for them. Is Cortana just saying like respectfully, he is who he is and I am who I am, and we cannot be our best if you get in the way every single time.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is that they're afraid to give Chief autonomy. They're especially going to be afraid now when he's like in that little boardroom and they're talking about Chief, John, what do you want to do next? And Cortana just shows up next to him in her hologram form and she's like, well, actually, I recommend that we go here because the covenant, blah, 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 blah. Everybody else can be like, what? What? They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, Halsey, you did this? And she'd be like, I did do that shit. That
Yeah.
was me.
I did do that.
I did do that.
So
So yeah, I liked episode 3. I thought it was really good. I don't know what everybody's got a gripe with about it.
I liked episode 3 far better, far more rather, sorry, than
It's a
I
show.
liked episode 2. It's starting to grow on me a lot more. I think by episode 4 it's gonna get really fucking cool. I'm hoping. So
We got more stuff happening in 4.
yeah.
Let's say real quick before we cut it is so what happens at the end of 4, right? Or at the end of 3. So
Yeah.
3 has Chief and Halsey and Cortana as well as some others going to Eridamus 2, or I can't even remember the
Yes.
name.
It's
Eridnus
whatever
2.
planet, yeah.
Eridnus 2. It's Chief's home. It's where Chief was born and where he thinks the second artifact is buried. And then we have Quan going back to Madrigal to fight for her freedom against Vinsher,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because I feel like I don't know how Soren listened to her. I mean, he pretty much just like completely threw off Chief's decision or Chief's promise as soon as he was promised money. Like he was pretty much just like, "Hey, man, if you're gonna pay me, then I'm cool with it." But like,
Yeah.
she doesn't know, and that's the funny thing is that I think he knows that she doesn't know shit about what she's talking about. And he's just cool with it because he's gonna get paid. Because he's
Yeah.
like, my father still has generals, and there are people in the city willing to fight. It's like you don't know any of that.
No.
Like you were in the middle of nowhere when all of your family, friends, and all the people you live with got slaughtered. You got picked up because your stupid ass fell and broke your head on a rock, and then now you're here and like you screwed your only chance you had with the UNSC by threatening them when you didn't have to threaten them because they were really trying to help you and all the people that are like you
Yeah.
in terms of like insurgents or separatists or I'm sorry yeah like that right like people that don't want to be a part of the UNSC. So like we're gonna see her going to Madrigal, which is also where the Covenant is headed because they're gonna go back to that little
Yep.
cave where the Keystone was at. So I think we're gonna see a lot more action in 4.
I do too.
Probably definitely more on the Covenant side and Madrigal, maybe some UNSC fighting there, and then you have the Chief and everybody come back to help. It depends on where all these things are at, right? Like, I mean, it depends on how close these things are to each other. Which I don't know if they said in the episode how close
No, they
Chief's
didn't.
homeworld is to Madrigal. I don't think it's close. But then again, they can always it's plot, right? They can just be
Exactly. They'll
like, oh
figure it
yeah,
out.
they were headed here already or something like that. So I'm definitely curious to see where more of it goes. And yeah, we have that episode and then 4 more or 5 more.
Yep.
So
So
I think it's turned out to be a great show. The people that are complaining about it are people who can't recognize that video games and TV shows are two different mediums and they have to be different. Because if
yeah.
you were to watch it, why great question or great thing to end this on for people that don't like it. You are the same type of people that go to a Marvel movie and bitch about how it's not exactly like the 20 pages you read.
Right.
Why would you want to go and see a movie that is 20 pages exactly as you read it? You don't like, so I spent $13 to go see something I have at home just move.
Right. Well,
Like,
and like my thing with this is
I get it because I know people.
I just really wish that the showrunners would have maybe spent
That's
time
a,
with
a
this.
weird
So
thing. That's a weird thing that they said, and I don't know why they said it other
I
than
wouldn't
just
have
maybe
said
to
that.
be. I wouldn't have said anything like that
No
until
misdeeds.
after you got like a reception, right? I because that could turn people off right away, right? There could be people like maybe my good friend Will probably was interested in seeing it, and then if he saw that they didn't even watch it or play the games or read the books, he'd probably be like, well, yeah, no, I don't want to watch it because who knows what they're gonna do,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So that's definitely something to yeah, it was a weird thing to say, but then yeah, I mean, people that don't like it, one, you don't have to watch it, and two, if you're gonna say, well, he didn't have his helmet and suit on the whole time, it's like, yeah, bro, he's at home,
Have valid
like.
reasons why you don't like it if you're gonna not like it, right?
Yeah, don't just be like, well, he's walking around like could you imagine if he walked around the park wearing all of his armor? They'd be scared of him more than anything, right?
yeah,
Like he's not human at that point. He is chief. I think
yeah.
there's a distinction that they're trying to make there, which they're doing pretty well. But yeah, like I mean, stop comparing it to the game because it's different. Like if we just watched the show that was just him fighting for 45 minutes every week, you'd be like, okay, well, show me some more story.
Where's some
It's
plot?
like
You
they're
they don't
trying
you
to
don't win.
they're trying to balance this sense of here we're going to build up the story, but then the battles have to be meaningful.
Right.
They have to have meaning and they have to have some importance to it. It can't just be that Chief is like just going kicking ass at every planet and then just calling it a day and winning the war, right? Like it's got to be he's got to take some losses, he's got to take some beatings, he's got to figure out himself more cuz like you said, he's young.
Yeah.
He still doesn't even know who he is realistically. He doesn't
Right.
know that he's John. He knows that he's some byproduct of Halsey and the UNSC's desperation for trying to win.
Right.
Right. I think that's what he's starting to realize, especially with Cortana, because Cortana's honest. Like you said, she's new. She's basically just been born.
Yep.
And she's very much like she's telling Chief things right in front of other people that maybe she shouldn't, but Chief appreciates it, even if he doesn't know it now, because he's like, oh, you're here to help me. And
Yeah.
she's
Word.
trying to make that yeah, she's trying to make that clear that she is there to help him, but then Halsey keeps putting something as well where she's like, "Oh, actually do this."
Yeah.
Because then it betters her and I think that John's going to get real tired of that shit.
I think he already is. So
I think he noticed it at the end of this episode where he was like, "No,
that
man."
bitch.
Yeah, he was basically like, "Dude, you're starting to piss me off."
yeah. So
And like, I wouldn't want to piss him off because even if he likes you, I feel like he can kill you pretty easily.
yeah. But regardless, episode 3 is a watch. It's a total watch. It's good for the series and it's
It's good for the
gearing up to be
soul.
something good. So, I, I assume for you it's a watch as well. Okay. So yeah, watch episode 3. Episode 2, I didn't give a fuck about, but Halo the series so far is it's half and half, right? It's in the middle. So, well, you guys, we'll let you decide what you think of it. Please let us know what you think.
Yeah, tell us.
We're curious, and then by episode 4, you know,
Argue with me.
yeah, please argue with us. But yeah, we're excited for episode 4, and you'll get another hot fix pertaining to episode 4 next week.
Yeah, this Thursday.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm excited.
So a lot of cool episodes coming out. Between Diggity, WASD and Beyond, Build
Bill
Bros.
Bros.
So much stuff happening in the Spawn Camp network. That one of the things I can't talk about. One of the things I can, I'm just not going to. I'm going to keep it as a surprise for next week's episode.
So basically, he's got nothing to talk about.
I'm not telling him. But what I
He's not
will say
telling.
is, check out our wonderful sponsors, Final
Yes.
Boss and Doc Longy. Both have amazing things coming out, and you guys should be keeping an eye on their pages to purchase their amazing merchandise. That's all I gotta
Yes, you
say.
should.
Check WASD and Beyond out every Wednesday for a hot fix, and every Friday for a main episode. Until next week, guys. Until this Friday, actually. Take it easy.
Yeah. Peace out.